You're also teaching contact improvisation classes.
Yes.
You're co-organizing Ontario Regional Contact Improvisation Jam,
Yes.
which is happening mid-April.
Yes, Easter weekend.
Yeah. Will you say a few things about contact improvisation and how you got into it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's connected to childhood again, amazingly enough,
Yeah.
of course. It's just my bias, so that's how I interpret everything. When I was growing up, I used to like to dance when I was a kid. And I remember some kids teasing me about how I danced.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so bad about it, I just never danced again. And so for 20 years or something like that, I never danced. To the point where I couldn't even dance when I was alone in my living room.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. I was blocked. And then I met this dancer who was a dance teacher, and he really encouraged me. He saw that I wanted to dance, and he really encouraged me. And he kept encouraging me, and he was giving me private lessons until somehow he broke through my resistance, and he opened up this dance energy inside of me that was blocked before. And he suggested that I try contact improv because I do the martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And because I wasn't really interested.
How old were you?
This is 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Or so. 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so he suggested that I do contact because I didn't really want to learn steps, and I didn't really want to go to school and learn technical stuff, although I didn't realize how technical contact can be at the time. And neither did he, actually, because he's a trained contemporary dancer.
Mm-hmm.
But he suggested it, and I went to a workshop with Alan Caja in November of 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the ticket stub from that workshop.
I saw it on Facebook. You posted it, I guess.
Yes, that's right. And it was like I was a fish dropped into water.
Wow.
I just felt like I came home. My body loved the movements, and I didn't know what was happening. I was terrified all the time in the early days, all the time. I would go to jams and be so nervous that I would feel like throwing up before I would go into the jam. I was scared. I was scared to go to jams. I was scared I was doing it wrong. I was scared of the judgment. I was, because I was overcoming such a deep fear of dancing from being criticized as a child. And every time, whether I'm talking about martial arts or dance, I always end up talking about parenting, because it's those kind of experiences that I believe we can minimize with this new way of parenting, right? Mm-hmm. And we let kids see that they have potential. If I had been if I had been encouraged rather than discouraged, it wasn't my parents that discouraged me, but I also didn't specifically encourage that in me, or even know that happened to me.
The dancing
thing. Yeah. When my daughter was, is it alright if I go off topic for a minute?
Go ahead.
When my daughter was 10 or something like that, she used to love to draw and paint. We had paintings all over the place. Suddenly she didn't want to do it anymore. She stopped. She said, "I don't like art." And I knew that wasn't true. She liked it. And one day to the next, don't stop liking something. So I knew something happened, and I asked her. She said nothing happened. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I could feel the wound. Yeah. Someone at school, a kid, a teacher, who knows, right? Somebody said something, and she wouldn't draw. She wouldn't draw anything. And you can't try to force her to draw. Isn't going to help, because I didn't want her to draw. I wanted her to heal. And again, it's the difference between behavior and the inner experience. Whenever the wound, I didn't care if she ever drew or not, I didn't want that wound to sit in her for her whole life. So I went on sort of like a journey, or an intention, set an intention to help her heal from that wound. Even though I didn't know what the wound was exactly, I didn't need to know.
Yeah.
And I also know that doing that takes time. So I gave myself something I felt like I gave myself 2 years I was going to work on it.
Wow.
But it actually took 10.
Wow.
Yeah. 8, really, to be more realistic. Because about a year and a half ago or so, I've been working on this, consistently working on this. It never left my mind.
Wow.
So I have a catalog of things that I'm always working on with her. So, but this is one of them, right? And I would like make little comments. If she would ever draw a little something, I would make a comment about it. Sometimes I'd ask her to help me draw. Sometimes I'd ask her opinion of something I was drawing, or ask her opinion about art. Just little ways, talk about things. I would also talk about how when we hesitant about doing something, it comes from our past a lot of the time, but we can break free without telling her she had to do it. Just talking about it, Lots of different ways I would be working on it. It's always like the ninja. You always want to attack from many different sides.
Mm-hmm.
And about a year and a half ago, she said to me, "Dad, do you think we could buy some markers? I feel like I want to draw." I said, "Oh, really?" Inside I was like, "Yes!" But outside I was like, "Oh, really? Sure, we can go get some markers." And so now she doesn't want to be an artist, but she doesn't have that same hesitation around it anymore. She'll draw things, she paints things. It's like she's like freed of it. So it takes time to heal. And it's the same for my dance journey. It took time for me to heal. But as I've been going through, and I still feel it, but nothing like in the beginning.
Yeah.
But now when I go to contact, when I roll around with other people, it's like I come alive. It nourishes my heart and my body and my soul and my mind. And as much as it nourishes it, it challenges it too.
Yeah.
Because the better I get at it, the more I can see the potential. And I always feel like a beginner. Always. Even after 11 years, I feel totally like a beginner. And when I dance with people, I learn every single time, every single week. So it's really exciting. I teach largely because I teach what I'm learning, not what I know.
How do you feel like contact improvisation and ninjutsu is connected?
Yeah, that's a good question. Martial arts has made me a better dancer, and the dancer has made me a better martial artist. Yeah, they both relate because they work in different ways, but with a similar idea. Like contact is so much about listening, martial arts is so much about listening.
Okay.
Contact is so much about responding instantaneously to changing circumstances. Martial arts is about adapting instantly to changing circumstances. They work very much the same. Contact works on balance and leverage and momentum. Martial arts works on balance and leverage and momentum. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. They're just a little different. When I pick somebody up in contact, I kind of want them to have an experience and twirl them around and land them safely. When I pick somebody up in martial arts, I want to land them on their head.
The difference there.
It's different, but getting them up is very similar, right? And largely it's relaxation. In both arts, again, I find for me being able to relax deeply, mentally, emotionally, and really be able to relax physically has a huge effect on the quality of my experience, the quality of my listening, the quality of my responsiveness, the quality of my creativity. My ability to see options, like relaxation is huge.
Vivek, if you could send a message to the world, like what would be your message to the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. If I could send a message to the world and have them believe me, I would say that you are worthy to be loved just as you are without having to change anything. And every person you meet is worthy of your love without them having to change everything. And it's always good to change everything. Because evolution, if we're always evolving towards that, it's the most powerful way that we can.
So you don't have to change anything to be loved, but it's still good to change things.
That's the yin yang again.
Interesting. Because it's natural to change. Right?
Yeah.
And it's natural to want to become better.
Yeah.
Is it true? It's part of evolution.
I think so. I definitely think so.
But it's also good to love yourself in the moment, the way you are.
Yeah, both can coexist. Yeah, it's not a one.
Maybe one is not possible without another one. No?
Maybe one is not possible without the other, my friend. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you want people to see you?
What does that mean?
Like, how would you... Like, let's say if people who met you would describe you.
Yeah.
How this person is like that. But what do you want?
What do I want? I don't want anything.
There's no
No,
desire.
I don't. I did at one point in my life. That was very important to me.
Yeah.
But now it's more important to me how I see me. That's really what matters. And I allow everyone to have their own interpretation and their own experience, and whatever works for them, however they view it. It used to be that if I felt I hurt someone's feelings, I don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But I used to not want to hurt anyone because of how it affected me and my self-image, right? Now I don't want to hurt anyone because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And I do. I hurt people because I'm human and I make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I don't feel bad about it because I'm afraid they're going to think I'm a bad person. I feel bad about it because I care about it.
Yeah.
So I actually don't have a sense of how I want other people to see me anymore. I know what that feels like, but I don't really. Do I still? Yes. Is that my primary experience? No.
Was there a transformation point in your life that you shifted?
No, it's been gradual. Yeah, I've had. I think transformation in general is like there's like plateaus with little growth, and there's a jump, you know, and then we're on that new level, and there's a jump, and then we fall. But even when we fall, I think that fall is still part of the evolution. It's not really a fall. It's more like a spiral, you know. Even though we're climbing, even though we're spiral. I want to draw this. Can I draw something? I want to draw something. Thank you. So I'm going to show you this. This is something that I teach regularly. So this is a spiral.
Yeah.
This is a circle.
Yeah.
Spiral. Can you see that? All right. Spiral and circle. So when we look at a circle, it looks like we're going up and down and up and down. And our lives can sometimes feel like we're doing the same pattern over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But what's really happening is we're traveling that circle. But it's really a spiral. So the spiral, we're moving like this. If you look from the top down, you see this. This is like looking down in the spiral. It looks like it's always the same. Yeah. But what's really happening is with each revolution, we're climbing. So the question is, are we looking at this path, or are we looking at this distance that we travel? And it's our choice to look at life like this or to look at life like this.
This is definitely more positive, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot more helpful. It's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And you can relax more knowing that even when you're coming back to the same point, you can relax. And I talked about relaxation, right, for martial arts.
Yeah.
Martial arts and dance and parenting, Lord help me, we have to be relaxed when your kids are so good at pushing your buttons. Because our buttons were installed when we were kids, so the kids vibrate on that same frequency. They push our buttons, and if we can relax through them, then we can offer them the love and support that they need in those moments, rather than coming from our own buttons and being pushed, and then trying to get them to change their behavior so it doesn't affect us.
So most of the things that we talk about, it all comes back to parenthood.
It does for me. It does for me, largely because I mean, I could say it all comes back to dance, or I could say it all comes back to martial arts.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to everything.
Yeah.
My focus at this moment in my life is the parent education. My blog, which is meaningfulideas.com, is all about parents.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that is meaningful ideas.
Yeah.
And all of that primarily is about parenting right now. Because it's where I feel I can have the greatest impact.
Okay.
You know?
From a childhood. From helping
yes.
people to be different in their childhood.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I do volunteer work with youth organizations as well. This Thursday, I'm actually going to with an organization called Future Aces. They do a lot of work with young people in schools, and they do conferences and stuff. And they're having an elementary. It's called the Elementary Symposium. And it's for grades, I think 3, 4, 5. And so I'm going to be doing conflict resolution workshops with young people on Thursday. So I still work with kids. It used to be mostly that I did that, and at some point I felt like I could have a greater impact by affecting the parents and changing the way homes are, so that kids feel more supported. And then when they go out into the world, they're seeking less validation from the external. They're seeking less. They're coming out with less pain, with less fear, with more confidence in themselves. So, yeah.
In a perfect world, what would be like the parent and kid relationships?
Mutual admiration, equal power sharing, equal care about each other's well-being. Mutual admiration is like what I talked about before, about seeing your child has as much to offer you as you them. No authority whatsoever.
Really?
Yes, no punishments. And when I say no, it's even not ideal because I'm talking about what not to do, right? But it's a place to start. No punishments, no consequences, no, I don't even like rules.
Wow.
Yes, why do I not like rules? Because what's a rule?
Rule is sometimes agreed and sometimes not agreed how the behavior has to be, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And what makes it a rule as opposed to like just a principle or a guideline? What's the difference between a guideline, a principle, and a rule?
Rule, I think usually if you don't do this, then you get punished.
That's the problem. That's why I don't like rules. I love guidelines. I love working together to say, I love working together to say, how can we treat each other in a way that makes all of us feel beautiful and addresses all of our needs and makes us feel like we're living in a great community. I like that. But the idea of the rule is what happens if you break the rule, right? So the idea of break and the consequence of breaking, it makes me feel icky inside. That's not a way to treat someone you love and care about.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really about that. It's about creating the world in your home that reflects how you want the world ideally to be.
Do you think it's possible to have a world without wars and based on those principles?
I have to believe it's possible. It's what gets me up in the morning. It's what gets me out sharing this information with people. It's what helps me have a compassionate heart and to see people in the best light that I can, and to see myself as in the best light that I can. I have to believe that it's possible. Let's clearly see that it's not that way.
Yeah.
But I have to believe that it's possible.
Do you see any like outside thing that is like stopping people from being like that? Like, let's say you're talking about authority, right? And that the world can be without authority. Maybe that's a little bit of anarchist side, but like, do you think that's the same, because the same system is projected in the world that, few people have all the power? That is something that is really going wrong in the world also.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm hesitating with the question because on the surface it's like, how can we change the structure of society so that it operates more harmoniously?
Yeah.
But the problem I have with that, for me, the way I'm thinking about it is, it's hard to even imagine if everybody was thinking this way and treating each other this way. Honestly, I can hardly even imagine what the structure of society would be like. I don't even know, actually.
It would naturally become to some form.
Yeah, because it's not just about changing some structures. It's about changing the fundamental way that we think of ourselves, that we think of the world, that we think of each other. Right? It's deep inside. It's a sense. It's about us. It's about changing our relationship to fear, changing our relationship to lack and abundance and resources, to changing our relationship to communication and injury and the idea of right and wrong that exists. The whole concept of right and wrong is so deeply embedded. How to get over that, to change that, and look at things from a sense of process and a sense of evolution and a sense of collaboration. It's so different.
And yet there is a lot of people who are looking into the world in different ways, more consciously, right? I don't know how to call those type of people, but I think there is some kind of switch in a person, my personal opinion, that it changed from one point of view, which is like hierarchy, following the rules, being the right person, go to work, come home, right. Follow one kind of image or fit the society, into switching into seeing the world in a different way.
Right.
I don't know why I'm saying that. I think my opinion and what was this new human thing or a lot of other projects about is like connecting those people who have a different view on the world and actually being able to share this different world, that there is a possibility of different lifestyle. Yeah. Because I think by the time we wait that everyone will change, and some people are not on a level yet they're going to change, they're on a level that they're going to just repeat what others do rather than think by themselves. So I think if there is like an amount of core people that start thinking differently, and I would say that word, have the power to make changes into the world. Then I think things can change. But it may even not go into the video, but like just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe there's like a certain number of people, a certain, like, what do they call that, critical mass? A certain number of people that have to make that switch before it enters into mainstream society and here's the way that we...
And then they can get permission, power and tools to bring changes into the world rather than being... Because what I see right now, like, if a person gets to some level and wants to make change on a larger scale, like, they get stopped.
Right.
Because the power is somewhere else.
So true. I don't know what it'll take, man. I honestly don't.
Yeah, I think it's just like keep doing what we're doing. Probably that's all.
Yeah.
Following our hearts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sound good?
Anything else you wanted to share, or
finishing note?
Let me think. Well, I do want to thank you. I want to thank you for asking me to come and talk like this. I've really enjoyed this conversation that we had. I want to thank you for this whole project about bringing the community together and spreading positive messages. You know, this world is so full of pain, so full of violence, so full of strife and struggle. And yet, pain and strife and struggle aren't in and of themselves bad things, because they lead to growth. They're one of the primary ways that we grow. You know, when a kid is learning to walk, they fall, they get up, they fall. That's falling is part of learning, you know. But I think it's our relationship to pain that makes a huge difference in how we relate to each other. And I think that when you have people that are doing good work and trying to make a difference, and we can create a positive relationship to pain, and a positive relationship to love, and a positive relationship to relationships. I think that working together, even if we're all working on different aspects of this work, we're still doing the same work. Like my friend Tanya Williams, who's wonderful and brilliant. She says we're all working on the same project. Even if we never meet, we're all working on the same project. People who are doing this work, and we're all coming from that same intention. You know, that same intention to bring this new way of living and relating into the world. And so I'm glad to be working on the same project with you.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
There we are, much better. And cut.
All right.